children in foster care to have therapy or just mental health services in general. According to the World Health Organization, 20% of youth suffer worldwide from a mental or behavioral issue. There are over 500,000 children in foster care at any given time. Of those, 80% have significant mental health issues. The Casey Family Foundation reported that the National Survey of Child and Adolescent Well-Being found that between 50 to 75% of children entering foster care exhibit behavioral and social competency problems that warrant mental health services. This is just a graph illustrating that. Untreated mental health issues not only affect foster children long term, but they may also hinder them from exiting foster care and returning to their birth families or adoption families. Yet therapy still is not mandatory for all children. The need for foster care, the need for mental health treatment in foster care. Removing a child from their biological home causes trauma. As a result of this trauma, the child often blames themselves for the removal, thinking that they're responsible. And most children, when they're younger, they don't know how to process that, so then that adds on to problems on top of the trauma. And then they also experience guilt and grief as a result of this blame, because they don't know well enough to know that, it's not their fault or that they're not responsible for being removed. A child needs structure and stability, but is met with multiple placements, unfamiliar surroundings, and the lack of a sense of self-control over their lives. The child abuse source book states that the origins of mental health disorders stem from childhood trauma. Some of these disorders are borderline personality disorder, PTSD, antisocial personality disorder, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, dissociative identity disorder, anxiety disorders, and ADHD. Untreated mental health issues in foster children have a long-term effect on them as adults as well. Martin Delfo stated in his book, Children and Behavior Problems, that adult survivors of abuse suffer from social problems such as homelessness, prostitution, compromised ability to parent, negative alterations of self-perceptions and relationships with others, and the inability to maintain steady employment. This is a graph illustrating, along with homelessness, how those other symptoms factor in, like delinquent behavior, running away, all that stuff that foster children also have going on. To improve foster children's chances at a better, more functional life, mental health services should be made mandatory for all children in the care. Their mental health should be moved to the forefront of concern so that no child be allowed to go untreated for a mental or social issue and suffer in silence. Alicia Lieberman, author of Don't Hit My Mommy, stated that one successful treatment method is therapeutic foster care. In therapeutic foster care, the foster parent is put in charge of basically the child's therapy. By putting the foster parent in charge, it gives the foster child the comfort of having someone that they know or have at least become familiar with on their behalf to intervene. Prior to participating in this form of therapy, the foster parent must go through mental health training, consultation, and regular clinical support. This model is actively supported by mental health providers, which makes it more successful. The government should also make sure that there is an increase in access for the youth in foster care to mental health treatment. In Self-Esteem Across the Lifespan, Marion Gideon states this can be achieved by informing child care workers about early identification and treatment of mental health issues in children that enter foster care. They can also introduce a standard protocol for assessing and screening of children with mental health issues. Child care workers also need to monitor referrals and follow up with foster parents to ensure that the child is getting the treatment they need. In conclusion, our children are our future. They deserve every opportunity to live a normal, unimpaired life. Foster children have the same right. However, they don't have anyone advocating for them. Don't let their mental health fall by the wayside when it can be so easily nurtured and returned back to a healthy, functioning state. By implementing mandatory mental health services in foster children, we can not only preserve their well-being mentally and socially in the present, but we can jumpstart their journey to a successful, more stable, and self-confident future.
Could the same be said for not so much even foster children, but I would say normal family children as well?
Yes, actually, when I was doing research, I found that it's actually not just foster children that have the mental issues. Like over worldwide, I think it said 20% of like youth have mental issues or social behavior issues that go like untreated or even undiagnosed. But the difference is that with foster care, they don't have the parents there and they get moved from place to place, so it doesn't get noticed as quickly as it would say if a child was living at home with their own parent. We saw them every day, notices changes in their behaviors and stuff.
So you would say that children who are not in foster care, or the children that are in foster care, have more mental problems than children who don't?
Yes, because most of the time to get in foster care, there has to be some sort of trauma or abuse or something that takes place in their biological home that removes them from the home. So they have the issues that they had already that got them removed from the home, and then they have the new issues piled on top of that that they get from being removed from the home.
Do you think a foster child can experience the equal amount of trauma to a child who's not foster?
Actually, when I was doing the research, it said that there's a lot of children who never make it to foster care or whatever, but they still experience like trauma and stuff, just nobody speaks up. So it goes undocumented. So, I mean, yeah.
Do you think that most foster children end up being on the street, like in drug and prostitution and stuff like that?
A large percent of them do, but I think that it basically depends on where they get placed when they get moved. Like if they get placed in a home where basically they're ignored and they're only a paycheck for the foster parent and they don't get any time invested into them, then yeah, they can end up like that. But I'm a foster child and I'm in school and I work and I'm successful,